Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Duggan and we are on the Minecraft server today. We're going to be working on the Mushroom Island and the command center. We took down the Shulker Shell farm last week, and this week we are going to be putting up the fourth and the south wing of the command center, as well as I think filling out the command center a little bit, trying to figure out where the heavier parts are going to be and what blocks we're going to use to actually build it out of. It's probably not going to be diorite. There might be some, but it's probably going to be something else. So I need to think about the block palette and other things like that. So we might try to decorate one of the doors. We'll see what I can come up with there. I know I want to go with some orange lights, so we'll have to pick out some things that might complement that. I do like the idea of maybe doing blue and white, or blue and some sort of very light color, but we're kind of limited in terms of the block palette there because the Sci-fi block palette does not have a lot going on. So we may have to add some infrastructure as well. I want to grab some sheep. I want to grab some ways to make concrete. So we will figure all that out. SweetSandi, hello, good to see you. Welcome in. Moira and Cosmic are all kicking around. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. There's a new episode of the Citadel Cafe and the Spawn Chunks out. Spawn Chunks was new yesterday. The Citadel Cafe was new last week. And the Spawn Chunks is all about the latest snapshot, which has the final features of the Mobs of Mayhem included, which was the Coral Nautilus. So we talked about that yesterday on the show. Okay, so I will just go towards the place that has no wing. So we're just going to grab the stuff and start, I think. A nice clean inventory to start the day. Probably put that in here. Oh, there's one there already. We will simplify that. Taking down the Shulker farm was a real pain in the butt. A real pain. I think that and some scaffolding. What did I do with my other scaffolding? Ah, it probably gets sucked up into here. That's fine. Actually, we should probably label these. Guess I need to remember to grab stuff out of here. Do I have another red sandstone box, I think. Well, maybe I don't. Ooh, that's the wrong one. So we'll do red sandstone for this one. Another orange. Nice. I don't remember what's normally there. I guess my tools. Should be good. So, if memory serves, there are 29 blocks there, and then 17 going up. We'll probably end up double checking that. And I think it's 17 from here as well. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, right, that would be different. Bet that one is odd. I will fix that. 2, 3. 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Okay. Tempest Brewer, hello. I was thinking the other day that it might be worth it to go get Swift Sneak from the Deep Dark. If we're going to be building something this large, this high up. All right, so I'll double check. This is going to be 29, so 2, 10, 20, 29. Looks right to me. Except for I put it on the wrong one. Dang it. That's the second time I've made that mistake. Bring lots of wool in the Deep Dark? Yeah. That's why I was thinking about getting the sheep farm. I mean, I have some wool, but I could probably use some. Oh, makes sense. Oh, I guess this is going to end up being destroyed, isn't it? What is going on? Oh, I've just built that in the wrong spot. It's weird that I didn't notice that. Huh. Dalara subscribing at tier 1. Thanks very much. Really appreciate that. 51 months total. It's amazing. Okay, that looks right to me. And now we need to go get the happy guest. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't mention it on the show, but Pixelriffs was talking about the mining penalty when you're riding a Nautilus and the fact that it's slower to mine when you're riding it, which means it's not as useful as a happy ghast. There's a mining penalty when you're on this guy too. If there's a different speed to mine when you're riding him, like I'm riding him now and moving him around compared to when you're standing on him. Different. Man, this is slow. Is the island going to be big enough for the project? Yeah. It's a really large build, but it looks like it takes up more room than it really will with the wireframe. Right? That's not Instamine. I should be able to Instamine that, and I can't when I'm riding the ghast. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for a data pack to make sure that those controls can be changed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. One more. Two and 3. That looks right to me. Riding a mob, boat, or minecart counts as not standing on the ground. This is the air penalty applies, but it's silly. Yeah. Makes it even less useful. I'm also finding today, for whatever reason, I'm getting some weird frame setters on the Ghast, which I don't like. The fact that you just keep on going up backwards is really annoying as well. I want to be able to move laterally, but the moment that you hit the back button, if your cursor is not level, then you start to go up. Annoying. Did I do that wrong? Yeah, that side's wrong. And it's like a exponential error, because like you keep on having to look down to hit the face of the block, and the farther you look down, then the higher you go. Okay. I think we can leave this guy over here for now. So this is where the swift snake would really come in handy. Oh, really? I think the gold is something we have to figure out. We don't really have... There's no other way to get gold other than a zombie piglin farm that I know of in a renewable way. Or I guess piglin bartering, but then you've got to have... No, you got to barter gold to them. You don't get gold from them. We're gonna need a lot of gold. Maybe I need to make a more robust farm. MDocs, hello! Thanks, yeah, it's coming together. Now that we've got all the wings in, I think it's kind of I think it will start to look more like something. I don't know if I'm going to put a water column up to the top of this. I probably will. I'm going to check to see if there's something running on my system that's not supposed to be. The good news is that once we design one of these, we just have to repeat it, so that shouldn't be too difficult. We've started to put in the window on the north wing. I guess wings is the right way to say it. Like wings in a campus. I'm not sure what else you would call it. If it was a ship, which it's not, but if it was, I wonder what they would be called. They wouldn't be called wings, I don't think. Sections. Flanks? Maybe. So there's the meat of it. There's going to be more coming up the top. You can see there's more in the top and there's more in the middle yet to be done. But I'd like to try and figure out what we're going to do for blocks. We know that diorite's a possibility. And smooth basalt's not right. Stone is obviously a thing. Smooth stone is a thing. Maybe polished tough. We do have stairs and slabs in both of those. Don't know if we'll be able to use the concrete. I think we're going to go with orange lights and maybe blue glass. There's no real blue blocks that aren't concrete. The blue terracottas are all purple. where can I set this up? Think that reads as darker. Which the polished tough is actually pretty good, and we know we can get a lot of it, so that's good. That's not bad because it's got kind of a green to it. Con Wolf 77, thanks for the raid. I really appreciate that. GG, hello. Thanks very much for sharing your peeps. Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We've done some big stuff in the past, so it's like riding a bike, but I'm really happy with the proportions right now. And now we're trying to figure out the build palette and some of the potential infrastructure that I'll have to put in. Folks, if you're coming in with that raid, thanks very much. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Joel, and I stream and podcast full-time. You can check out the Spawn Chunks podcast every Monday. It's all about Minecraft. So if you're coming into the Minecraft stream, you are probably interested in that kind of thing. And folks in my chat, go check out to see what Conwolf was up to. Easy on the caps, Conwolf, please. Thanks. All right, so this gets a lot warmer down here. Oh, that's the same thing. We got accent blocks with the black. And also put the black on top as well. And then deep slate actually probably goes before the black. I hope we don't have to mine a lot of deep slate. I should probably go get some blackstone as well, even though I'm probably not going to use it. It would be good to check that out. Just going to see what it looks like. I don't know if we're going to be using lodestones. We might. Yeah, no, I'm the co-host on and co-producer on Spawn Chunks. Yeah, the lodestone's got some nice details. I just don't know if it works for sci-fi. But I agree. Blackstone. Do I have Blackstone here? A good question. Polished Blackstone. Maybe I don't think the regular Blackstone would work. It's probably going to look too much like stone. Yes, if you need to raid and run, Conwolf, by all means. No worries there. I know you're probably not the computer a while. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like the weekly login that we do on Spawn Chunks. Yeah, so for folks that are coming in that might not know, it's a news and editorial show. So Pixel Riffs and I sit down and talk about what we've been doing in Minecraft. So we recap what our builds are like. Then we discuss the news. And then we talk about something that is like relevant to the game at the time, usually. And we answer listener emails as well. So the sun is on this side right now. That's not terrible. It doesn't really look like stone in a sci-fi context. That could easily be textured metal, I guess. I think I might like that better than the polished. This has just got too much noise. I'm not a big fan. And of course, it's not going to look really dark next to this. Cyan terracotta. I knew I would like that. I feel like the cyan terracotta, the tough, and the deep slate are probably where I'm leaning. As far as some of the darker colors, I'm not sure whether that's going to be our accent colors or whether that's going to be like our main colors. Don't know if I want to go white. Part of me wants to go white, but that might be just because I've built this white. And the whole thing kind of reads as white on the map. We could do white inside maybe. And have the outside be a little bit more weathered. It's big enough that I can do some gradients and some textures and stuff too. So there's that. I don't really have, the reference art is, the reference art is black and white, but I do have some other inspirational stuff. I like that one. And so the original art is black and white as inspiration, but there's also this. I like the light gray and the blue. Don't know, we don't really have anything that light gray. The closest we would have would be polished stone, but that's just, there's no stairs in that. And I really like this, like the combination of having some parts of it much darker. And I like the orange as well. So I'm going to go grab some orange blocks because I think the orange would go really well with blue, like blue accents. So like if we had like blue windows and blue glass, then I think that that could look really cool. Didn't we start the Spawn Chunks at the time of an update? We started 7 years ago. So it was the update aquatic was when we kicked it off. I think that first episode was about bubbles. Thanks, Andy. I still don't have that playing live in chat. All right, orange blocks, orange blocks, orange blocks. I feel like orange terracotta is going to go really well. I think it's going to be a lot better than the orange concrete. We just don't have stairs and slabs in it, unfortunately. That's not as big of a difference as I thought. And then we've got sandstone, but sandstone would be great because sandstone would give us a little bit of texture, but then it would also give us stairs and slabs. Mess with. And I don't think that that looks terrible. It's weird. It's not quite the right hue. I mean, we could use all three, really. Could even use some regular terracotta as like weathered texture. Yeah, I think we are eliminating that. Keep that potentially. This doesn't really go with anything, which is one of the frustrating things about light gray concrete. It just doesn't ever really go with anything. I don't like these either. At least not for the main. We might use them as accents. All right, let's move these closer together. Is stripped pale oak too purple for this? You know, it might be. It might be. It's gonna have too much purpley pink in it. I could use it as maybe like a texture, like something that would make this look dirty. Ah, even then, that's kind of rough. It would work with diorite probably. I don't know. It might work with like regular diorite. What was there? It was that one. Do these work together? Terracotta is pretty easy to get a lot of too. It's not bad. Calcite's not renewable, no. And calcite would be too warm, I think. I've got some somewhere. Hold on. Where do I keep it? Calcite works with the diorite? Not so much with the concrete. There's a potential texture block there. Yep. That works. We'd have to have some sort of geometrical change. So like here's a good example where something like this for me, this doesn't work. Right? That to me doesn't really work. However, when you don't have them on the same plane, that works. It's because this has got no texture. And I don't know, we could use that as some sort of like fine detail. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like I'm going to be making a lot of concrete. White wool might, you're right. White wool would be a good shout. What are we not using? We're not using that. We're not using the gray concrete. And we're not using the orange well, we already put the orange concrete down. And we're not using the black stone that's polished. But we do have, I do have, my nether brick is black. Another potential. The thing is that just reads as like black bricks. Doesn't really double as a sci-fi texture. White wool. See, white wool is very white. There's very little temperature to it, which I wish most of the whites were like that in Minecraft. It would make things a lot easier. Yeah, see, like it works if it's not next to it. And the texture goes in a different direction. The other issue. I don't think we'll be using much white wool. Yeah, you can do the powdered version of concretes as well for texture. That's a thing. What is going on? Why? 11 components, 12 components? What? Weird. This is going to have very specific texture. Good for accents, maybe. I feel like that would be more of a accent block, like the lodestone. So the powdered version of gray concrete is going to be an issue because it's still going to have the same tone. However, white concrete could be something we could use too. Again, I don't know how much of this I want to be white. That feels kind of boring. I'd almost rather have white accents. Works next to the calcite, no problem. Yeah, the more I mess with this, the less I like the white concrete. I like this though. Maybe not so much that. We'd have to be very specific with how we use that. But I really like this as some of our structure. And then we could use these as darker parts of it. So a good example would be this over here. So the underside of this thing, I wanted to be dark and supportive. And I feel like if this stone was tough, then we could have something else even darker down the lines, which I think could be cool. Yeah, Blackstone's got different textures, but they all kind of look similar. Stairs and slabs, but the polished, I don't like the polished version, right? That's what I didn't like. But yes, the Blackstone, you can do stairs and slabs of just the regular Blackstone. That's why I think I might want to try to use it. It's the same thing with this. We could do stairs and slabs of the nether bricks too. But for really deep dark spots, we're probably just going to use the black concrete. I was going to try to avoid gray if I could, like this kind of stuff, the andesite stone and andesite polished stuff, because like that we built so much of Westill with that. That's really dark in places, which is cool. Maybe we can get away with chunks of this. So like if this whole thing was tough or tough like, and then we had accents, like I wanted to do these triangles as kind of accents, like sort of like how this has got like a blue in it. It'd be kind of cool to have some sort of color. What I would really like to have is the border be lit and have the middle be something else. I feel like these shapes, what we would want to do is build these out of something that has stairs and slabs. So that's where tough comes in. I'm trying to remember what regular tough looks like. Oh yeah, that may or may not look like metal. It might always look like stone. Thanks for the camera heads up, Sandy. I don't know why this keeps on happening. It's an easy thing to fix, but it's odd. So that's not bad. Oh, Nookie saw it first. Cool, thanks, Nookie. Appreciate it. So then if the highlights are orange, I also want to create, see, that's the thing, if we have a darker body to the actual image, to the main sides. So like if this is darker, then the numbers could be lighter. Either way, I feel like darker on the bottom is probably going to be the way to go. We'll do a little bit of a test here. Sleep. Where did I start? I think I started on the north. Yeah. Should rearrange this. Stream time's at an hour. Thanks, Sandy. How did I fix it? I just switched the sources. I just tell OBS to look for Epoch Cam, which is an app to connect my phone, and then I switch it back to Camlink, and it works. So it's not the camera. It's either Camlink or OBS. I can't figure out which. I could be low on my or behind on my firmware for the Camlink. So that works as like a shadow over there, but it doesn't really work with the stones. And we'd be limited to where we can place this, of course, because of gravity. That's potentially something we could use. It's not feeling the most inventive, but I do like having chunks that it be color. We're gonna have to figure out like a full, we're gonna realize a full section of it to really start experimenting with different stuff. But either way, I need to take a short break. I do this once an hour, folks. If you're new to the channel, if you came in with that raid, I take a break once an hour. You should too. Grab a snack, grab a friend. We're always trying to grow the channel. I'll be right back. Okay, so I like the orange. I don't know about the blue. The blue, we might go with like blue glass or something. That might be where to go. But I like the sandstone and terracotta. Concrete, I'm surprised actually works. I didn't think it was going to be that right, but I feel like these two work really well together. Thanks, Andy. And I mean, we could use any of these for textures, really, for inside stuff. Yeah, I really like this image for color scheme for that. But I'm mostly thinking about like this big section, and I haven't really given much thought to the bottom. Bottom's pretty straightforward. But I do feel like we'd be using the same color for the supports. So well, let's just take a crack at this. I feel like the bottom's gonna be mostly gray. We'll probably have to go at it in stages to see what it actually looks like. At least tough is easy to break and easy to get. Yes, red sandstone is something we can craft for the data pack. It's dye. We just dye sand. I think we dye sand, but I also want to add a way to just craft the block. That's a little simple. add some depth to that. And this is where the diorite might actually come in handy. I go even lighter than that? Weird that the diorite is too light. We may have to go deep slate on some of this. So hard to see in the rain. All right, well, while that's happening, we can focus on the door maybe. I feel like this needs to be quite dark. Oh, I decided not to use the concrete. More for accents, I guess. I feel like this probably works well as a door frame. We are going to need more, of course. Mikatu, thanks for the lurk. Appreciate it. Oh no, great concrete powder. concrete maker is definitely going to have to be on the list. We'd need a lot more gunpowder, though. Hey, Ben, how's it going? Yep, we're working on the sci-fi build, but we're working on some textures. We're actually trying to add some life to it, but we've been sidetracked by the rain because it's really just difficult to see textures in the rain. So I'm just kind of putting together a quick door frame to see how these look. And I feel like we could probably do something cool in the bottom here. So the door would go in this section. There's a giant hole there. So you can imagine a giant door coming down in this section here. And I could just make that a different color. Maybe that's good for deep slate. Take it easy, Nookie. Appreciate it. Always happy to have you here. Guess that works. I feel like there'd have to be some sort of lights in here, so some sort of inset lighting in the walls would be good. And that's where maybe the orange could come in. So I would probably use concrete for that and glass. We've already got the frog lights. And this is why I wanted to have things have some serious depth to them. That's not quite as cool as I thought it was going to look. Glass really mutes it, doesn't it? What I think we might have to do is have this be here and then make an upside down stair with the tuff or whatever block we have to put there so that the light goes through. Like that. Oh, that still blocks it. Guess the trick would be... yeah, I don't know. That's not awful. It's actually kind of good to be doing this part at night. I don't know if this is going to be the largest building in the area. Probably not. I feel like I'm going to make a number of buildings. This got out of hand in terms of the planning, for sure. I feel like this has to be set back some, maybe? Nope. Be beefier. So what I'm thinking is that we have something here that looks like a door that could come down. The hard part is going to be lighting up the stuff that I want to light up. Hello, Wick. Thanks very much. Thanks for saying hi. Iron blocks. So these do really look like a door, which is fun, because we've got the connected texture. I feel like that looks like a pretty good industrial sized door. It looks like it could come down, right? I like that. We could even make that bigger. Yeah, I like the connected texture too. I can't remember whether that's my default texture pack or whether that's from Vanilla Tweaks. I think it's mine. Alright, finally, no more rain. You can sort of see what I'm going for. I don't know about having these big sections of grid. I don't know if I like that. I feel like I'm gonna want to have those be more solid colors. Yeah. I think the cyan is gonna win there. Because then we could have the cyan go all the way in the inside. I'm not even sure if I like this heavier outline. Like maybe the whole thing just needs to be the one color. Trying to complicate it when it doesn't need to be. Man, cyan, terracotta, and tough go really well together. That could be cool. And then we wouldn't have to go up by blocks because we could maybe use stairs and slabs. I quite like that. And that might tie in well to using tough up there. I've got a funny feeling that cyan terracotta is going to be one of the blocks we use the most for the bottom. Maybe we need to contrast this though. Maybe this has to be more light colored. If you want more light, you could use anvils and have light under them at the bottom instead of the deep slate. That's true too. Or cauldrons. Cauldrons work that way too. That could potentially work. Maybe not. Do I have a clay farm? No. Tough and sand terracotta have a little contrast, though it does allow smoother and rougher of the same-ish color. Oh, they go really well together. Just makes it look like it's made of the same material with like an edge to it. But we definitely need more solid than these grid lines. I think these grid lines are going to be used for the outside of stuff a lot of the time. All right, let's try the top part. And I wanted to build that out of tough at first. But if that's going to be cyan, terracotta, and tough, this I feel like has to be darker. So maybe deep slate. Which is again good because we could use stairs and slabs if we need to. Where's the middle? That's the middle there. pop down and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think that'll work. I might not want to make them 3 wide. We might want to make them a little bit bigger. Maybe 4. We'll try that on the other side. I usually prefer to go in odd numbers, but it works, it works. Until you run out of polished deep slate. Trying not to go too overboard, because if we don't like the deep slate, it's a real pain to remove. Now this is where we could potentially use blackstone. Definitely running out of materials. Even just gray, is gray concrete darker? No, gray concrete's, yeah it is, it's a little bit darker. Not by much. I think the 4 wide supports read a little bit better. Don't know about these. We might end up having to move those a little bit. Don't know if I like exactly where they are. I feel like I want to have another layer to the door. So they may have to go outside a little bit, and then that way they'll line up more. Like it might make sense to have this kind of centered under that, if that is where that stays. I don't know. I think it might be worth just putting in a temporary stone ceiling on part of this. That's someone could do that. Easy to take out if we need to. Attach right here. And we'd have to figure out where to put like, a bunch of like running lights and little things that'll help make things visible and lit up and not feel like just big empty dark spaces. Because of course once we start filling this in, everything on the ground is just going to be completely dark. Don't have to worry about mobs, which is great, but I want to be able to see where I'm going. Rain again. Jeez. Endless today. At least I'm not trying to figure out colors right now. So nice is that we don't have to light up the inside of this either. So on any of the floors that are hollow, we don't have to worry about anything like that, which is great. Yeah, there's going to have to be some lights on here somewhere. Oh, come on. Scaffolding is so inconsistent, I find. The way that it behaves when you jump off of it, it's really frustrating. So then this would just go right up to the ceiling. And it would go down a little bit farther. And I guess it would extend as far back as this would go too, right? So and then this shape in here, I wanted to see blackstone versus concrete. One of these already started. I think it was this one. And this goes one more. Yeah. This is the part about doing everything in survival that does take a little bit longer. And of course, I can't really tell what's going on in the rain. Plus, like I said, we have to have some sort of lights up there. I feel like the yellow might be a little bit too bright. Maybe we could do some sort of sea lantern or something. The sea lantern would go really well with the blues. And with this shader pack, they're not nearly as dark around the edge. It's nice. It definitely go better with the cyan. Yeah, Captain Ben, it's been just raining on the server all day. It's really annoying. I don't know that it matters because it's in such a deep shadow, but I feel like I like the black concrete better. I might want to make these even wider. That goes to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll work too. And then this has to feel thick enough to support it as well. And if they were 5 wide, we could put lights in front of each one of them. Two, 3, 4, 5. So then out here. And that could kind of light up underneath there. And it wouldn't have to be exactly there either. We could also recess it a little bit. Oh yeah, that'll look cool. Yeah, I like the beefier supports. We're getting there. There's a new snapshot. Interesting. The next break. Looks like I'm due for a break too. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Thanks, Cosmic. Changes. Tuesday already, it must be because the lights are on in the snapshot shipping room. With today's release, we're putting some additional polish on the upcoming features for the Mounts of Mayhem game drop and changing the order of spawn eggs in the creative inventory for some better thematic flair. On the technical side, resource pack creators now have more freedom when creating their block models. Oh, cool. For the full list of changes, browse the changelog below. That might actually affect us because we're going to do some custom stuff for the sci-fi area. Parched are now immune to weakness effect. Makes sense. Horses, mules, donkeys, camels, zombies, horses, and camel husks will not panic if controlled by mobs. Nautiluses and zombie nautiluses now play a dash sound when they perform their dash attack. Don't care about spears so much. Inventory UI for the Nautilus and Zombie Nautilus. Probably for the armor. Item components. Resource packs. Textures used for still water and lava. The block model and state format has been expanded to allow more rotations. Added splash text. One does not simply walk into the Firelands. That's funny. That's pretty good. Block model elements can now be rotated around multiple axes. Model is first rotated around X, then Y, then Z. New fields, existing fields. I don't know enough about block models to know how that helps. Lots of bug fixes. All right, pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, mint refresh. I like the little developer link winks as well. Need more deep slate. I want to finish this one thing here, and then I'll have a quick break. 2, 3, 4, 5. And how far is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that lines up there. This gets out here. And then we've got we've got black stone there. I'm gonna try concrete again on this side. So you sort of get an idea of what I'm going for. Yeah, the concrete has a nice reflection with the shaders, I agree. So imagine a different material in the ceiling. But I like that. Sort of, it lights the actual support. And these we could do some stuff with like stairs and slabs and stuff like that too. I missed some stuff up here. Yeah, the only problem I have is that this feels very flimsy through here. Not a big fan of. I feel like this is going to have to be thicker, but that's going to block the view of the door, which is going to be weird. Yeah, that feels better, but yeah. Well, I guess if we don't pull it all the way back, we get like some different layers. That's cool. Not a fan of that. We'll have to figure that out. All right, I need to take a short break. So for folks that are maybe new, I need to step away for a bit. When I get back, we will continue on with some of the block palette stuff and see what we can do about maybe mapping out something higher as well. Be right back. Hey, Toasted Jam, how's it going? Yeah, that definitely has to have a thicker top to it. I feel like we're gonna need some sort of like lights or something on these as well. That could be something as simple as adding a shelf. I don't know what shelf we could add that's not going to stand out though. Because all the shelves, there's no gray shelf. They're all various wood colors. The closest would be white. As a neutral color. That's not bad, actually. That's not terrible. A little bit of detail. I think I like it just lined up like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think if we get rid of this diorite or stone, whatever it's in here. Oh, I don't have any more terracotta. I should make some more cyan terracotta. Oh, is it 1-to-1? Can't remember. I don't think you dye this like glass. I think you dye this like in a 1-to-1 situation. Oh no. Okay. That works. Unless that's a data pack. I've had data packs for so long, I really don't know. And I guess we could put orange back up there. That kind of works. I don't know about two of them, but one of them certainly works. I think I like it better than the long strip. The other option would be to just have shelves in there, right? It doesn't quite have the same look. Maybe the thing to do would be to light the door inside. So I have some sort of lighting going across here. And yes, I know I'm doing this all at night on purpose. Can line them up with these ones maybe. Yeah, that could work. I feel like the white shelves are going to come in handy. I almost want to wrap them around. Well, maybe not. The little running lights make sense though. Not sleeping increases the chance of rain? Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I feel like that's feeling pretty beefy. I think that these need to be wider. So I'd like to try and skip ahead a little bit and go up on this and see what we can come up with as far as a design goes for the side of it. I do like the panels, the look of the panels in this. We do have a window up there. There's a good chunk of top part, so like wouldn't start until back here, I don't think. I'm probably going to use diorite for some of that. It may be easier to do with a happy gas, I'm not sure. It goes off at an angle. Straight down. I would say it probably would start back here. Like that position. Then we would also want to have some sort of, I guess I can just make this out of anything. Some sort of other block behind it that's easy to destroy. Maybe that's where we can get the tough in there. Yep, I think we are going to do this with a happy gas. Blackstone. And I don't think we're going to need the orange just yet. Raining again. I slept through the night. I don't get it. You know what? Screw this. I feel like that's excessive. Too much rain. The question is, Mojang, could you have made this any slower? My guess is probably no. So I feel like with this, we're going to have to go in a bit in order to go out a bit. And so I feel like if we line up, I feel like this would be the right depth here. And maybe we'd go too deep on the edge. Overlap there. So the easiest thing is just going to be to go along here. Start from the bottom. How far does this go back? All the way down to the bottom. And then we can just come in. Yeah, flying down and building is really tricky with these guys. a lot easier to go up. And I don't know if this is the right texture for this. It's a block that I know we can remove really easily. And it is darker than andesite. And then we just remove these guys. And then add in the andesite. That overlap in the right way? No. I want to make sure this is actually going to work. Yeah, this is not a pleasant experience building on the Happy Ghast. I mean, it's faster than scaffolding, but sacrifice is the enjoying it part. I feel like this would be pretty solid up here. Then this would probably have a gap. Oh, there's an entirely different panel here. Okay, hold on. So this would be like this. I think. I need some sunshine. Anybody know if you can put a bed on the back of a Happy Ghast? That'd be great. My guess is no. We'll go a good chunk. We don't have to go the whole way. Ah, stupid. don't fly up. Yeah, if I'm not pressing up, I shouldn't go up. I think that's the issue that I'm having. If I'm not pressing spacebar, I should not change Y values, in my opinion. All right, see if that even looks remotely like what we want. I mean, sort of. I'd have to change the angle of a couple of things. But that's got, I think it's got the right amount of depth. And I like that it's asymmetrical. I like that it's a single line up here and then a double line down there. That's cool. What we would more than likely do over here, have this come up at an angle. So probably something like that. Yeah, you really do mine a lot slower on these things, which is annoying. So again, the bottom part probably has to be thicker for that to make sense. Or it has to be in line and this just has to overlap. That actually could be something that makes a lot more sense as well. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think we might have to simplify it a little bit. Like I think getting rid of these little pokey bits, I feel like keeping it square. We have to kind of Minecraftify the detail a little bit. But I like the darker color. And I feel like we could then take that even darker, like I wanted to do with this image. That one. So the andesite would be kind of like your gray color here. And then we could have the front part be darker. The thing is to get the form sorted first and then do like the color stuff over top. But I don't know what we would do for the dark part if it's not going to be deep slate. I mean, deep slate would give us a lot of curve ability because of the stairs and the slabs. But I could see it easily being gray concrete or terracotta even. Yeah, if that wasn't the whole thing, I think that could work. And then we could maybe switch to the this other stuff here. Polished. Two and two, and then put some stuff there. And that's 2 and then 3. Maybe not. We'll have to play around with that. It's gonna look pretty cool and pretty chunky though. I like that. It feels very Star Wars-y, which I like. It's a good start. Thanks, Sandy. I don't want to get too carried away because I don't know where on this axis all that is going to happen. Because if you look at the image of this part here, It gets thicker, I think, as it goes back. Like, I feel like we can probably add a layer or two as it goes back, which I think would be good. So we can even map that out now. I got to remember we've got end rods as lighting as well. There's another little window, and then there's another bigger piece that comes out. Plus there's that part on the top. There's this section that kind of goes over the top of it. Like that. Which you can sort of see. And then there's another window back here somewhere. I can probably rough in. Oh, really? Yeah, there's a bunch of things about the happy gas that I really feel like they missed the mark on. The fact that I have to have a snowball around to try to get it to do what I want is annoying. I don't want to carry one. Inventory is at a premium. This was just kind of like a guesstimate on how big the window was going to be. And it looks like maybe 9 blocks until the other window. Like, I should just be able to fly down. And that window. Thanks, Andy. I've got 2 different versions of overlays, and I have to just stick to just using one of them. This window is in line with the top of that. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it is maybe about 1/3 the size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 30. I'm gonna make this 10 long for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do 11. 9, 10, 11. And so then it looks like after that it could potentially get thicker, which is what I want. And I'm going to do that by 2 blocks probably. There'd be another couple blocks behind here. And then maybe this would come out by 2 or 3. Pressing backwards to go down is so weird. And then of course I start to go farther away from it if I don't look straight up or straight down. What I was getting at was that this is going to come down outside here. So that would be potentially thicker. And I'm not sure. That might not be enough. We might need to beef that up even further. There might be layers to that. Oh, that covers up that back part. So I think what we would do here is that we would probably have that follow that around. And maybe we don't have it line up exactly like that. Maybe it comes down and goes out at an angle. I'd probably like to have some layers there. I think that'd be cool. And then eventually we'll have the same thing happening over here, and we'll try to connect the two. So I'll do that quickly. Something like that, and then I guess we have to count these to figure out where we are. So this is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, we'll have to double check all this later. That's about where the bottom part is. Probably good. Let's go 7, 8, 9. We'll go 9. Probably have to go a little bit bigger than that. Because that's not a lot of space. And that's where we have to think about what the numbers are going to look like. I do want to have some numbers on the side of this, which would be fun. Caden, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Hey, an anonymous gifter giving out 5 gifted subs. I don't know that I mentioned the promo this morning. Maybe I didn't. That's Sham Shelabim, Obi Ted Kenobi, Eva Riva, Navdas76, and Rocket Lettuce. Rocket Lettuce, that's a great username. You all have gift subs. You can now join the Joel Duggan Discord by connecting your Twitch and your Discord. Do they always go one at a time? Or is that new? I think that's new. Caden, hello. How's it going? You can sort of see how I'm trying to beef that up. I think we're going to have to do that more. I don't think that's going to be enough. That still feels very much like a cross. I think I'm going to have to come... We're going to have to have this... This is going to have to happen sooner. Maybe out here. And I think this is going to have to be more deeply embedded. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to... I really want to get numbers on the side of this, but I don't know that I have the room. It's like I really like seeing that, like that number 3. I just think it would be cool to have numbers, but I don't know if we're going to have the room to do it. I guess I could put it down here. Could do just one number. That's right, Sandy. Yeah, it doesn't have to be 0, 3. It could be just the number 3. That's true. I still feel like it's not that this space isn't big enough. It's that I want this diagonal. I feel like this has to happen like way out here. I guess I could put the numbers on the diagonal, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because then, like, which one does it apply to, right? We could put the numbers lower. Like, I don't like the straight line. I feel like what's going to happen here is something here is going to have to mimic this angle. We're going to have to have a couple of different layers of stuff. We can just move the position of it too. It'd be too hard. So we're getting there. I like what I did down here. I like this kind of stuff. I like the white accents with the shelving and stuff. And the terracotta is good. We're gonna have to mess around with some layers. This is gonna have to get much thicker. This might end up being like 7 blocks wide or something. I feel like it has to go outside of the edge of this. And before I start decorating too much on the outside, I also need to get on the inside and make the measurements and kind of figure out where I'm going to be up here. So I'm probably going to put in a fake floor, maybe like a dirt floor or something that's easy to remove. And then we'll start measuring out how it's going to work out back here. Because I think everything behind the window, this space in here, is going to be like this space here with shulker boxes and stuff. I think that's the plan. Thanks very much for the hype train, folks. Really appreciate it. One at a time is when there's a 5 gifted sub bomb, and then 10, there's just 1. Okay, cool. Thanks. SweetSandi with 100 bits, jumping in on the hype train. Thanks very much, Sandy. I think I need a... I do have one for tough. What are we not using? We're not really using the deep slate that much. Let's switch those out. Holy smokes! Cosmic Dancer, thank you so much. Give me 1 second here. We've got lots of tough, that's good. I mean, still not quite enough, but we'll get there. Cosmic Dancer sending out... Oh. Did Sandy also? No, that was anonymous. Cosmic Dancer, 10 gifted subs. That's a level 3 hype train now, almost level 4. Night Fox, The Destroy, Mr. Badger Seth, Nana Panda, Animal 104, Mr. Chase, Mr. Zaps, KT1970, Brightness Mom, and YGen22. Y'all have gift subs. You can now join the Joel Duggan Discord. In between streams, just connect your Discord and your Twitch. Blast Jordan jumping in. That's a level 6 hype train now. Or level 5 on the way to level 6. Blast, thanks very much. Holy crap. It's another 10 gift subs. No. Yeah. Went out to the community. It's not listing them in my chat though. Arc Sniper. Tesd 77. Flying for Fun. Coco 94. John Jett, Ethlas, sorry, Skeedy, Yorkie Dave, Non-Binary Penguin, and Jay Kikinksk. I hope I'm saying that right. And Vanilla Gorilla jumping in with 5 gifted subs. Nope, Vanilla Gorilla followed Lord Andy with 5 gifted subs. Thanks very much, Lord Andy. You guys both did it at the same time. Hello Puppet, Sunk Block Fallacy, and Ingamat, and Toy Bear and Up Amsar. Welcome in. Thanks very much, Lord Andy. Really appreciate that. That's now on our way to completing a level 6 hype train and heading into level 7. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. So once again, folks, connect your Discord and your Twitch accounts, and you can join the Discord. Listen to like live recordings of the Citadel Cafe podcast. You can hang out with other people that are playing Minecraft. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. That goes in there. Lord Andy, things are pretty good. Things are pretty good. We were working on the underside of these supports today. Starting to fill it in and look at shapes and colors and stuff. We were looking at these two buildings. I like this for color scheme. And I also like this for contrast with like the orange lights and the blue lights and stuff. So we're going to try and figure something out. I don't really think I need this up anymore. Satisfactory going Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft is sort of looking like Satisfactory a little bit. We're going to be putting some technical builds inside here too. I need to start thinking about breeding up some villagers, and that's one of the reasons I want to start planning out the floors, because there's going to be the space in here is going to be really useful, I think, for certain things. On one hand, like I don't want to have everything in the one building. I feel like I should probably have separate buildings for things, but I don't know exactly what we're going to be putting in here. We could also just have some bulk storage. We could also have, because bulk storage takes up a lot of space. And we could also have room for copper golems to do stuff as well. I need light so I can see. Grab that, grab these, and those. I wanted to make this a little bit wider just to kind of see what it looks like. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. That is the end of that epic hype train. Thank you ever so much, folks, for participating in that. I really appreciate the support. What emote did you get? Let the chat know. I got a little animated dude. Oh, get rid of this. I don't know, that might be too big. Maybe that doesn't necessarily need to be bigger. Maybe it just needs to be farther to the left. Maybe we can just come in here and move it. I don't know what that means for the other part of the wall. Oops. Actually, maybe we could, I don't know. Let's see. Have to overlap some shapes maybe. Yeah, I think wider is better. Don't exactly know how we handle the space in between. Maybe that has to be at an angle. That could be it too. Yeah, that could work. We'll just continue that over. Make it look really sturdy. Might also bump it back a bit. I played Skyblock before, but never one block. I just play vanilla Minecraft most of the time. Cool. Right on, folks. I need to head on to the rest of my day, but we got a decent amount of work done, I think, today. It's having a color palette in my brain is good. It's a lot of gray, but I think it'll look good when we start adding oranges and stuff into it. Figuring out where we're going to put the lights is going to be the really tricky part. But I really like the shelf idea. And also the block palette we have going is pretty good. It's a lot of gray and white, but if I can work more white into it, then I'll be more happy. We also have oranges and blues, which you can't see right now, but they're some highlight colors and stuff over there. I think it's going to be cool. I think the windows are going to be blue glass. I think that's where we're going to fit the blue in there and have some blue lights and stuff inside. So that could be fun. Anyway, let's just see who is playing Minecraft. I'm sure some of the hermits are probably live. There's probably some cool people to send you along to. Pixelriffs is live. Has Pix just started his stream, SweetSandi? Or is he coming close to ending it? We'll just send you over to Pix if that's the case. My guess is that he just started. I think he starts at 11 my time. Cool. Either way, I will send you over to Pixelriffs, my co-host on the Spawn Chunks podcast, also a Minecraft player. I'm sure you probably found him before you found me. Doing Choppin' Tuesday on the Minecraft Survival Guide, collecting his stuff. He's 3 hours into his stream. Does he normally wrap up now, Sandy? Either way, he'll pass you on to somebody else good if he's wrapping up, but I gotta go. I will see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock Atlantic. That's UTC minus 3 hours, I want to say. And I will be back working on the command center as well as gathering some materials for that kind of stuff. Thank you ever so much for the epic hype train at the end of the stream. That was absolutely amazing. Really appreciate the mod help today, Sandy, as well. And cheers to all the new folks coming in for the follows. We will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.